everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Oklahoma City Sports Network. I'm the Cowboy Crab. Unfortunately, not joined by Brian today. He unable to make it to this episode, but it's a slight little bit of a, I guess, redemption or compromise or something. We got an interview for today's episode. That's what we're going to get started with. The interview with True, aka Mission Accomplished. How's it going, man?
Everything is going so good so far, man. I'm ready for the playing game tonight.
Exactly. It's been a roller coaster of a season here in Oklahoma City, and tonight we're going to be finding out if we're making it past the playing games against the Olympia Skykings at 10:45 tonight. But before I talk about that, I just want to kind of talk about how do you think this season has gone, like, as a franchise for the Twisters compared to previous seasons?
Well, one thing I want to say is that this might have been one of the most challenging seasons as just overall as a Twister, because I don't think anybody have went through the hardship of just going up and then going down, and it's just in between. It's in the middle. You over here making changes. Everybody can adapt to the changes, but so far for us, it seems like we're good where we are right now, and we're looking to make that push.
As, of course, nearly every regular season game had a different starting quarterback, with Intage starting week 1, then Bailey coming in week 2, who Bailey getting suspended, which is probably the biggest blow we've had as an organization. Then you had Parker start week 3, and then I think from week 4 onward was Intage again, or Intage came back week 5 and started 6. I can't remember who started week 4. It might have been Intage, but I can't remember.
Mm-mm. It was Cursor that we had at quarterback.
Yeah, Curse. Yeah, we brought in Cursa and then sent him off after week 4, and then we brought back Intage and ended up 3-3, and not winning the Plains division this year. So it's unfortunate, especially after back-to-back. But the fact we made it to a playing game, I'd say, is impressive enough, especially with the amount of hurdles. But let's go ahead and get started. So. Of course, you said up and down year as a franchise, but based off, how do you think you've done this season as a individual part of this team?
As an individual part of this team, I feel like this is one of my most impressive seasons ever. Back I used to be a center and everything when I first came into the Twisters. Came in and went to the VB. Things haven't went our way, and then I decided to make a little position changes. I think this season right here is one of my best seasons ever, and I'm wanting to prove to everybody that the stats don't lie itself. Everything I put on that field is hard work.
And so obviously, yeah, hard work is definitely a big thing. I feel like definitely pays off in any sport whatsoever. And I think from what I've seen from you this season, I definitely think your hard work has paid off at the positions you play, and you've done pretty well at them. I'll give you that. You are one of the best players in the league right now when it comes to your position. But my second question is, I haven't got a chance to talk with an actual player about this. How did the quarterback changes affect how you guys play as a team? Like, that's gotta be a challenge.
When it comes to the quarterback changes, it's a big issue when it comes to the communication within receivers and the centers. So when it comes to rolling around, trying not to get pressure, and trying to make the right plays to drive up the field, all that, it's just within the quarterback and the trust within everybody on the team. But since Intag been here since week 1, had came back and get a second chance, I think everything had just been perfectly fine. I feel like we're ready to get this thing on the road.
And I do want to point out those final week 2 games, both being absolute blowouts against two rivals in the Toros, and Red River rivalry game against the Vikings. Since both of those being blowouts, do you think that was because of the team finally getting momentum and chemistry, or do you think that was just because of both opponents being absolute shambles at that point in the season?
One thing I can say for sure is that the chemistry throughout the season has been a lot rocky, but it took a couple of work outside of the schedule for everybody to come together and realize that this isn't what we wanted to be. We want to be way better than this. We're gonna do better for each and everybody, so we make the game much more easier for us. And that's what we ended up doing, blowing out the last two teams that we played, which was the Toros and Vikings. And I'm pretty sure we can do that to the Sky Kings tonight.
And speaking of the Sky Kings, if since the playoff draft is tonight at 8, who do you, in realistic spectrum, who do you see drafting you or the Sky Kings?
Honestly, it doesn't matter who drafts us because really and truly, they're all seeing us. Anybody who goes in and think they have a chance with the Twisters, they don't.
This is just me saying my opinion. Me and Brian, we both kind of agree it's going to be the Aztecs because they currently do not have a win against us. And while they did take the division, one of their 2 losses was against us, and that was the week 2 game, the one we got with Bailey. So if that is the case, if the Aztecs draft us, what do you think the tension is going to be like if we make it past playing game and have to go face the Aztecs for the second time this season?
I don't think there wouldn't be any tension for us, but towards them, yeah, they're gonna feel it for the rest of the night. They're not doing anything special. When everybody comes up against the Twisters, they're not getting anything easy. They're gonna have a run for their money. They're gonna have a run where they realize that they're not better than us. They're gonna sit there and realize that we always been the best team within the OWC.
Well, I don't think I've got any further questions for you. You got any final closing comments for all the people?
For everybody watching, everybody listening, we all need your support. We're gonna run this thing down to the ground. We're gonna go all the way to the VB. Trust, this might have been one of the hardest seasons ever, but with hardship, it only makes the man much more sharper than what he was before, the better version of himself. And I believe all 8 on that field within the Twisters have that opportunity to make that run.
All right. Well, thank you, True. I appreciate your time for doing this interview. And you are now free to go ahead and prepare for the play-in game tonight against the Sky Kings. But thank you for doing this.
No problem. Anytime, anytime.
And that was mission accomplished, aka True of the Twisters. So, with that being said, we do got our week 6 stats to cover, and my thoughts on tonight's play-in game against the Vikings. Against the Sky Kings. Wrong team that ends with Kings. So we'll start with the Twisters stats, then we'll go over the Vikings stats, and then we'll go over my preview for the Sky Kings game. We'll start with the Twisters stats. Intage, 16 for 22, 565 passing yards, a 72.7 completion percentage, 7 touchdowns, and interception. Realistically, the only thing hurting his passer rating on that one would be an interception. Otherwise, that is a great stat line. Not a lot of incompletions, almost 600 passing yards, and 7 touchdowns. I mean, great statistics from Intage on the night. Receiving core, Drag Me in the Wood with a reception for 30 yards. And Dymek, 2 receptions for 50 yards. Samuel might have put up the best stat line I think I might have ever seen from him, at least this season, maybe this entire time I've been here with the Twisters. 8 receptions, 397 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns. He was 3 yards away from 400 receiving yards. That is unheard of. Insane from Samuel. BTD got 2 receptions for 31 receiving yards and a touchdown. Mission accomplished. Just had him in the interview at 2 receptions for 48 receiving yards, and Donnerving with a reception for 9 yards. At center, M13, out of his 9 drives, he led up a sack. And then on defense, you had mission accomplished with a tackle for loss, BTD with a tackle for loss and an interception, Donerving with a safety, and Universals with a sack. So, I mean, just the entire Twisters unit was really good against the Vikings, the Red River Rivalry game, bringing home another win for the Red River Rivalry. Twisters currently undefeated in the Red River Rivalry. And then we'll get to we'll cover the statistics for the Vikings. Full OGs, 15 for 24, 262 passing yards, a 62.5 completion percentage, 4 touchdowns and an interception, and Sanderlings 2 for 3, 84 receiving yards, and a completion percentage of 66.7. At the receiving core, you had Killer, 3 receptions for 57 receiving yards. Watson Santana, 3 receptions, 46 receiving yards. Tyrell, I think that's how you say that name, with 4 receptions for 40 receiving yards. Zanderlings, 2 receptions, 45 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Balmain Jean, I think that's how you say that name, reception for 13 yards. 57 V6, 3 receptions, 134 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns. And full OGs with a reception for 10 yards and a touchdown. Then at center, you had Braden Saz. Out of his 8 drives, he got 2 tackles for losses and 2 sacks. And on the defense, and so Rufy got a sack, and Full OGs got a pick. But yeah, I mean, just another blowout win for the Twisters is exactly what they needed to wrap up their regular season and clinch themselves the play-in spot. They got the number 9 seed. They will be taking on the Olympia Skykings tonight at 10:45. Will not be streamed by me because 10:45 on a Wednesday night during the school year, it's not going to happen streaming-wise for me. But outside of that, my prediction for tonight, I think the Twisters, I think we have got this game. I think this is our game to win, and depending on who picks us, I've got a firm believing it will be the Vikings. Yeah, the Aztecs. I keep thinking the wrong rival team. But yeah, I firmly believe the Aztecs will be the one to pick us. They don't have a win against us in franchise history. One of their 2 losses this season was to us. Then again, that kind of was a different team of us. But I still think our core is strong enough to at least get by to this playing game. And then if the Aztecs do draft us, then I'd argue and say the more pressure's on them for the Twisters. Hey, this was a big turmoil year. I mean, your different quarterback almost every week. Your star quarterback getting suspended till season 40. So, really, everybody kind of had us down and out, and yet we still get into the playoffs. We get a 500 record. We won our rivalry game. We're on a 2-game win streak heading to the play-in game tonight against the Skykings, and I think we're going to be winning this game. Yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. I think I'll give us I think it'll be 2-possession win for the Twisters on the road against the Skykings. I think the only way the Twisters get a home game in this playoffs is if your championship game is the Twisters versus Warriors, which a double play-in championship, like 2 play-in teams making the championship, I don't think that's possible. I don't think it's ever happened. It's possible because the Warriors play the Bucks and Skykings play the Twisters, so it's possible. But it's very, very unlikely, especially depending on who picks who in the playoff draft. But I think that's where we'll wrap it up here for this one. A little bit of a shorter episode. But we got the interview, we got the preview for tonight's play-in game, and recap of last week. So that is where we'll wrap it up here for you folks. Representing the Oklahoma State Sports Network, I'm the Cowboy Crab, saying so long, everybody.